Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, and it seems that we have only 2 verses and purports left in chapter 27. So we will be completing another chapter today. So here we go.
Canto 4, chapter 27, text 29.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 29. This world is a product of fruitive activities. Therefore, you may imperceptibly attack people in general. Helped by my soldiers, you can kill them without opposition. Purport. The word karma vinirmitam means manufactured by fruitive activities. This entire material world, especially in these days, is the result of fruitive activities. Everyone is fully engaged in decorating the world with highways, motor cars, electricity, skyscrapers, and industries, businesses, etc. All this appears very nice for those who are simply engaged in sense gratification and who are ignorant of spiritual identity, as described in Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.4. Nunam pramata kuru devi karma yad indriya parityaya apnoti nasadu manye yata atmanoyam asanapi kleshada ashadeha. Those without knowledge of the spirit soul are mad after materialistic activities and they perform all kinds of sinful activities simply for sense gratification. According to Rishabdev, such activities are inauspicious because they force one to accept an abominable body in the next life. Everyone can experience that although we try to keep the body in a comfortable position, it is always giving pain and is subjected to the threefold miseries. Otherwise, why are there so many hospitals, welfare boards, and insurance establishments? Actually, in this world, there is no happiness. People are simply engaged trying to counteract unhappiness. Foolish people accept unhappiness as happiness. Therefore, the king of the Yavanas decided to attack such foolish people imperceptibly by old age, disease, and ultimately death. Oh, that's nice. Of course, after death there must be birth. Therefore, Yavana Raja thought it wise to kill all the karmis through the agency of Kala Kanya, and thus try to make them aware that materialistic advancement is not actually advancement. Every living entity is a spiritual being, and consequently, without spiritual advancement, the human form of life is ruined. Huh?
What a verse and purport.
Yeah, a lot to unpack, really, but there you go.
Okay, a lot to unpack, really, but there you go.
I think what mainly stood out was the point, actually in this world there is no happiness. I was just having a phone call today, feeling quite sad, and then I was saying to Krishna, I said it's a bit annoying, that this material world is temporary. That's actually a problem for me, actually. It's getting in the way for me, the temporary nature of this material world.
In what way?
Well, what do you mean, what way? We just read, because you have to die, and people die, and people,
get sick, and people get old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, that's Krishna understood.
Well, it's a good thing he did. I don't think anybody else does.
I mean, everyone did.
Everyone did, except for me, obviously.
Yeah. I like the last line. Every living entity is a spiritual being, and consequently, without spiritual advancement, the human form of life is ruined. I like that. I think we were just mentioning that, touched upon that. I think it might even be, it was today. So much goes on. You don't remember it was today. We were saying how compassionate Prabhupada, because we were walking to Matchless Gifts, and you always think, it's nice because you remember Prabhupada and what he did and all that. And we were saying how compassionate Prabhupada was, because whereas we might be quick to like, what's wrong with this one? And this one lazy, this one crazy, and this one's whatever, mixture of both. But Prabhupada was so compassionate. We were saying that because when he looked at the lazies and crazies and everyone in between, he could see, no, these are all spirit souls, and they all have Krishna in their heart, and that's it. I need to reconnect them, basically, as it says. Everyone is a spiritual being, and they need to, they just need to be connected to make spiritual advancement in the human form of life, and that's all. That was his focus, and that's when he wasn't seeing black, white, Chinese, this national, this gender, this whatever. He was just giving, because he could see. Yeah, he had higher, spiritual vision, as it were. Yeah, so it was nice, because definitely I don't have that, and definitely it's like, jeepers, this person's like such a weirdo. I'm just being honest.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very tendency to be very judgmental. Not for you, but for me. That was the conversation that, how to cultivate that high level of compassion. And we can say it and we can be sentimental about it, or we can be honest, about, we can say it and not really mean it, but think, but yeah, to have genuine compassion like Srila Prabhupada had, and what he did for so many people, and very, very, very challenging. And then, of course, this thing, I was just speaking with someone, actually, just as some of you will know, I was just speaking with my friend Michael, who we've done some readings with, and he's 83 now, and he even just told me that he can't even read anymore. And I was like, what do you mean you can't? And reading was like his thing, he was like reading. He read through the Bhagavatam all the way through once, and started again. Then I kept sending him books. He kept ordering books. He kept reading. But he said now he'll read for an hour, or he'll read a chapter, and at the end he'll be like, what did I read? What did I just read? So he's like, I just don't retain anything. I think I need to encourage him to still read anyway. Yeah. But I was just trying to hear him out, and because but he's saying, anyway, I know the end's coming. I know this is, it's all part of the program, and he's like, and I'm not really afraid of death. He's like, I know it's going to happen. In fact, I'm ready for it. I embrace what's coming next. And I thought that's quite progressive, but most people are definitely very clearly afraid of the time of death, and getting old and getting sick, and so it's interesting to hear how, Yavanaraj is doing all these things, and I'm not quite, hopefully it's going to unpack a little bit more, because he says that he does it with the help of, attack people in general with the help of my soldiers. You can kill them without opposition. In one sense, although it says it's directed at karmis, but everyone's going to die, whether you're a karmi or a bhakta. Still, the body is gonna go no matter what. Okay, let's try text 30. This is the concluding verse and purport of this chapter. The king of the Yavanas continued, "Here is my brother Prajwar. I now accept you as my sister. I shall employ both of you, as well as my dangerous soldiers, to act imperceptibly within this world." Okay, Prajwar. Let's see who Prajwar is. Kalakanya was sent by Narada Muni to Yavanaraj so that she might become his wife. But instead of accepting her as his wife, Yavanaraj accepted her as his sister. Those who do not follow the Vedic principles are unrestricted as far as sex life is concerned. Consequently, they sometimes do not hesitate to have sex with their sisters. In this age of Kali, there are many instances of such incest. Although Yavanaraj accepted the request of Narada Muni to show respect to him, he was nonetheless thinking of illicit sex. This was due to his being the king of the Yavanas and Malechas. Well, that was pretty confusing for me. I don't know about for you, but so it sounded like he was, here is my brother Prajwara. I now accept you as my sister. I thought he was going to hook up Prajwara and his sister, and then he was going to employ both of them. But here, Prabhupada really goes into a whole another thing, that he accepted her as his sister, but he was planning to basically have illicit sex with her. There you go. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Alright. The word Prajvara is very significant, for it means the fever sent by Lord Vishnu. Such a fever is always set at 107 degrees, the temperature at which a man dies. Thus, the king of the Malechas and Yavanas requested the daughter of time, Kalakanya, to become his sister. There was no need to ask her to become his wife, for the Yavanas and Malechas do not make distinctions as far as sex life is concerned. Thus, one may outwardly be a sister, mother, or daughter and still have sex. Yavana Raja's brother was Prajvara, and Kalakanya was invalidity itself. Combined and strengthened by the soldiers of Yavana Raja, namely non-hygienic conditions, illicit sex, and ultimately a high degree of temperature to bring on death, they would be able to smash the materialistic way of life. In this connection, it is significant that Narada was immune to the attacks of Jara, or invalidity. Similarly, Jara, or the destructive force, cannot attack any follower of Narada Muni or another pure devotee.
Pure Vaishnava things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thus end the Bhaktivedanta Purports of the 4th Canto, 27th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Attack of Chandavega on the City of King Puranjan, the Character of Kalakanya.
It's quite a title, isn't it? Jeepers. Yeah, I was reading this paragraph, and it's like, it's a bit gross anyway. Like, in terms of having sex with all these people. And then I was thinking, no, but you know what? In this day and age, maybe it happened before as well, but I don't know, because I only remember now, people do act like, oh, he's just my mate. He's like a brother to me. She's like, or yeah, she's just like my kid's sister, whatever. But people then do get together, for example, and then even if I've got a kid from I'm just saying, for example, if I've got a kid from a previous relationship and you got a kid from a previous relationship, and this also happens, and if we got married, our kids are not related, they become step siblings, and you do also see those people sometimes become close, which is also weird, but depending on when they got together in terms of family. I'm just saying that it's, I took it on the direct gross level, but it does happen in our time in that way as well. Like in the culture I grew up in, you tie a Rakhi on your brother. It doesn't have to be your blood brother. It can be someone who's your cousin or family member and that. And you wouldn't actually get together with someone who you tie a Rakhi with. But these things can happen, and definitely my family would have been quite scandalous to do that, because once there's a brother, that's it. But I'm saying that would be as an example as well, so not a literal one, but it's still taken like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I was just reading it like this and saying that, because at first I was reading it thinking, God, what this is? But I was saying, no, these things are quite prevalent out there.
Mm-hmm.
I was just reading the other day of, I don't want to get sued, but it is a fact anyway, Woody Allen. He's now married to his daughter. His wife adopted her. Then, you know, like I said, they got married, but that was his stepdaughter. That's how they were brought up. And then when she became 21 or whatever, decided to marry her. They're married. They're still married, by the way. But
what happened to the mother and the wife?
oh, you don't, Lord, if you know the story, you know that.
I don't know the story, and I don't want to know. It's okay. You always bring these things.
No, because it's bringing...
No. It's good. It's good.
I know.
I'm just saying, you always bring them in.
So, and that's in our time, if that makes sense. So I'm just saying, when you read these things, and sometimes you might think, gosh, that's far out. What are you talking about? You know, sister, mother, daughter, still have sex. Whoa. But then you think, yeah, it is something that happens and we can see. And
amongst the Malechas and the Yavanas especially. And if you're not, even if you're from a Brahmin family, if you're doing that, then it means you're no better than a Malecha or a Yavana.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was in the news. They just went... It was in America somewhere. They found some people, like, I think they said they were rednecks or something. But anyway,
they didn't say rednecks. I'm sure they wouldn't.
Okay, they didn't say it. But I think they meant that. But they were like, you know when they live in the middle of nowhere, and it was like a hut, you know?
A shack, more like.
Well, there you go. And then they were like, what's going, you know? They found them, and it was really horrible and everything. Anyway, they got through it, and then they realised that these people were living together, but they were actually related, but they were living together, if you know what I mean. It was quite like, whoa. And they hadn't been amongst civilization for like forever, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, these kind of things happen in the backwoods.
That's it. Yes, I don't go to the backwoods.
Well.
All right. Jai Prabhupada.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Food for thought for the weekend. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, everyone. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.